We're making chocolate mice today, and what you're going to need for that, first off I'm going to show you what you're going to need, and then I'm going to cut off for a few seconds and get it set up. You need to have some Hershey's Kisses. I use, for my chocolate, Nestle's chocolate chips. You can use baker's chocolate if you want to, but I just use the chocolate chips. Then what I have left over I can make cookies with. You need some sliced almonds, not the chopped, but the sliced. You need some bulk white chocolate. I use this to make my cheese. You can get it usually at, this is Sprouts Farmers Market or Henry's Farmers Market. I've seen it in the smaller markets, not necessarily in the big supermarkets. Something that I haven't tried before that I'm going to try this time is the aerosol food color spray. I thought this time I'd see about making my cheese yellow. Normally I just leave it white, but I thought I'd spray it yellow and see how it comes out. You need maraschino cherries. Make sure you get the kind with the stems. Must have stems. You can usually get those at bar supplies. Sometimes they have them in regular markets. They certainly aren't necessarily in jars this size. This just happened to be what I was using. But you need to have some with stems on it, and you certainly don't need to get a jar this big. You need something to put your mice on, so I just have a plate here. And then I'm going to give you a few seconds. Give me a few seconds to get it all set up, and we'll come back and make some chocolate mice, and I'll show you how everything works together. Okay, so I've sprayed the cheese. I've picked out my maraschino cherries and dried them off. I've got my chocolate kisses. When you're picking out your set of ears, which is what you're going to use the almonds for, make sure you pick out an extra pair because sometimes they break when you're using them. I used some of my melted chocolate and I glued my cheese to the plate that I'm going to use, because otherwise it has a tendency to move around if you don't do that, and it upsets the mice. So you're going to take your your maraschino cherry, put it in your chocolate and just cover it. I usually, when I'm microwaving these for the chocolate chips, I usually do it for about 20-25 second increments until it's melted, so that you don't get it too melted. Also, if you start trying to use these right away, they come out and they're a little bit too hot and they don't want to set. So let's see how this is going to work. I've tried to let it set just a little bit. Okay, let me see if I can get rid of some of this extra chocolate. Position your mouse body. You're going to take your candy kiss and put it here. And you're going to put your ears between the body, obviously, and the candy kiss, because that's going to be the head. You have to hold it a little bit until it sets up. It should harden. Okay, don't worry about the extra chocolate on the plate because you can get that off with a toothpick. So let me go ahead and make 2 more of these. Then I'll come back and show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so here are my 3 mice. I'm going to go ahead and put on their eyes and nose. I forgot to tell you, you need to have a Cake Mate glossy decorating gel. Pink is what I use. I don't know, I'm sure they have other ones other than Cake Mate. This just happens to be the one that I use. This is to put on the nose and the eyes. And you'd be surprised at the kind of, just the 3 little dots just add a lot of expression to these guys. Let me get those on. Let me give you some of the pitfalls that can drive you crazy when you're making these. Make sure you've secured the cheese, if you're putting them on cheese, to the plate with the chocolate. Otherwise they slide around after you've got everything all set up, and it really upsets the mice, and there's not a whole lot you can do with it. If you're making these for a cake or for cupcakes, you can probably go ahead and just dip as many bodies as you want, put those on individually, and then come back after those have had a chance to set up, and attach your ears and head just by putting a little bit more melted chocolate on the kiss and attaching it that way. It'll probably work out just fine. Also, like I say, once you've nuked your chocolate, make sure you let it set for a little while to set up so that you don't have to end up holding the kisses for so long. So this is how the mice come out. They look pretty darn cute. I think kids would have a good time making them. Of course, they taste just like a chocolate-covered cherry with kiss there. And they are really, really cute, and people really, really seem to enjoy them. So I hope you have a good time making these, and thanks so much.